So in this problem, we're going to find an equation of a perpendicular line. Now, you don't have to graph this, but I'm going to graph it so you can see what the picture is, what's going on. Okay, so I want to find the equation, of a line that's perpendicular to this line. So I'm going to graph that line, f of x. So it has a y-intercept of 3. And it has a slope of 3. So up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, or I can even go down 3 and back 1. So this is the line f of x. Okay, that one we already know, that equation matches to that line. We're trying to find a new equation. We want it to be perpendicular to this line, but we want it to go through the point 3, 0. So let's find the point 3, 0. 1, 2, 3, 0. And so we're looking for a line that goes like this. Okay? We're looking for this line, the equation of that line. Okay? And I'll call it g of x. I don't need to call it g of x, but I can. Okay. Now remember, that means that these, because they're perpendicular, these two lines form right angles there. So I probably need it a little more tilted down. Okay, that's what the picture looks like. They give us one line, they give us f of x. We're trying to find what I labeled g of x. Okay, so we have a point, right? We know the point that we're going through. So that's like my x1 and my y1. And I need the slope. Well, the slope of the old line, this slope, is m equals 3. My slope's going to have to be the opposite reciprocal. So the slope that I need for the orange line is going to be negative 1/3. Okay, so that's really important. That's what we're pulling out from that equation. Their slope, the f of x, has a slope of 3. Our line's going to have a slope that's got to be negative. It's got to be the opposite, and it's going to be 1/3. Now, if I thought about that slope, so remember I'm going through this point right here. If I were to go up 1 and back 3, up 1 and back 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can see my line's off a little bit. It should have been more like that. Okay, and then that probably looks a little more perpendicular there. Okay, now it just looks like a mess, but they didn't ask us to graph it. We're trying to find the equation. So I'm going to pull out the point slope formula because I have a point and I have the slope. So I'm going to plug everything in. Y minus, my y sub 1 is 0. My slope is negative 1/3. And then my x sub 1 was 3. All right, so I get y. I don't need the minus 0. That's not doing anything for me. I'm going to distribute on the right, negative 1/3 x plus 1. And so this is the equation. They probably have it as y equals negative 1/3 x. Now remember, I labeled mine g of x. So if you wanted to write it g of x equals negative 1/3 x plus 1, you could. So, but that I made that g of x up. Okay, so that's how you find the equation of a line perpendicular to another line.